Hello children, welcome back to the online class. Children, today we shall learn a very important poem, yet a very, you can say, significant poem about the legend of Northland written by Phoebe Carey. Now, if we talk about Phoebe Carey, children, she is an American poet, I would rather say poetess, right? She is a female poet, so American poet, and she was quite, you can say, profound and prominent in the 19th century. A prominent writer in the 19th century. Now, children, the legend of Northland, the poem, the legend of Northland. Children, this poem is like a story. It is in the form of a ballet, right? And when you read this poem, you will see that though the poem is very long, but it is one of the easiest poem you will find in your Beehive book. This is one of the most easiest poem because it is written in the form of a ballet, which is like a story, right? It is like a story, and the words which has been used in the poem is equally easy for you to understand, right? And now if I'm talking about a ballet, children, what is a ballet? As already written here, a ballet is a form of a story. It is a of traditional way of conveying, right, a poem in the form of a story which has a strong moral, a good value for us to learn. Now, ballet or like these, folk tales. First of all, the legend of Northland. We are talking about the geographical location. If you find Northland, it is to the extreme of North Pole, right? It is to the extreme of North Pole, and it is like this entire poem is a mythological. It is based on a mythological concept. Mythological concept. Like in India, we have mythological stories related to Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all. So here, this is again a mythological form of ballet, right? Which has relevant, what you can say, teachings and preachings of that particular place, right? And children, generally what happens, folk tales or traditional ballets or stories, it is passed from one generation to another, right? So this is again a very old mythological ballet story which has been passed to us by this great writer Phoebe Carey. Fine. Now in this poem, what will you find? You will find the most important character, as this poem is written in a narrative form. This is a narrative poem, right? And you will find the very important character, Saint Peter. Children, if you know about Saint Peter is one of the most important, you can say, significant disciple of Jesus Christ. So as I was talking about, it is a mythological concept. So here Saint Peter, let me tell you, he is the one who preached the teachings of Jesus Christ in the entire globe, right? So Saint Peter was given the not given the work, but he took it over and decided to spread kindness, generosity, and all the great teachings of Jesus Christ throughout the world. So he was on his mission. Saint Peter was on his mission, and somewhere he had landed to this place called Northland, right? So here, as I have written here, the setting of the poem is quite clear because the title suggests the legend of Northland. Who is the legend, children, now? Saint Peter is the legend we are referring to. So the setting of the poem is quite clear, Northland. Now when you read this poem, though it has many stanzas, approx 16 stanzas, but each and every stanza is so simple that it forms as if you are reading a story, right? So setting up the poem is quite clear. Then we go to rhyme scheme. The very first stanza, right? In the very first stanza, you will find the last word Northland. Then we have few, then winter, then through. So the rhyme pattern, the rhyme scheme has been followed. That is A, B, C, B, right? Now I would not discuss about theme now, because theme and message I will discuss after I introduce, after I give you the overview of the poem. And of course, tone. Now tone is preachy and sanctimonious. So here the writer, the poet, his tone, her tone is, she is trying to preach something very valuable, something very strong, a very strong message through this ballet, The Legend of Northland. Now it happened so that Saint Peter, as I just now discussed, or I was just talking about, Saint Peter was one of the most significant disciple of Jesus Christ. So what he was doing, he was actually preaching the lessons, teachings, right, ideologies, the belief of Jesus Christ. And like he had covered up few places, and then he had landed to this place called Northland. Now when he landed to this place Northland, children, it is a very cold place, right? Very cold, extreme. So after landing this to this place, he was like very much hungry. He was about to faint. So he decided that he would knock someone's door, right? So he decided that he would knock someone's door. So what he did, as he was not able to control his hunger, he knocked one women's door. Whose door, children? A women's door. Now the women opened, right, and was not very happy to receive Saint Peter. First of all, for her, he was a wanderer, he was a stranger. So the lady was not much happy, right, as she was baking cake, and she was quite busy with her work. Now Saint Peter, as he was not able to control his hunger, like as he was fainting, he thought of requesting the lady to give him something to eat. Now the lady got confused, though he did not deny Saint Peter at that very moment, but he asked Saint Peter to sit. And then he went to the kitchen and decided that she would bake a cake which would be smaller in size. So again, she did all her she added all the ingredients and baked the cake in the hearth, right? After that, when the cake was baked, Saint Peter was anticipating for that piece of cake. The lady thought that the cake which was baked by her, the second one, was also bigger, and then she decided that she would make a cake which would be smaller than that. Just see, children, the you can say the unsympathy, or you can say the cruelty of that lady, how inhuman she was. She thought of baking it like a more small piece of cake, and then again she baked, and again she found that the slice was little bigger, and that also she thought was not fit to be given to Saint Peter. Saint Peter kept on waiting, and the lady kept on baking till the time the cake had become like a wafer. Till the time the cake had become a very, you can say, a very slim and thin slice, just like a wafer. Now when she was done with that part, that also she felt that she should not give. And lastly, Saint Peter could not control himself. And then he understood that the lady was a very greedy lady. He stood, though he never wanted to, as he was a messenger, right? Though he did not want to. But again, looking at the attitude of that woman, Saint Peter cursed the women to be or to become a bird. And children, as he was a legend, a great man, a preacher, his curse befell on that lady, and the lady turned into a bird. She became a woodpecker. And then St. Peter cursed more, saying or stating that the woman was not fit to be in the form of a human. Right? And that's the reason why St. Peter had transformed that lady to a bird. The lady became a woodpecker, and till date, children, it is a mythological tale. So it is of course based on a myth. So a mythological concept it is. So it is believed that the lady had become a woodpecker, and she wandered from tree to tree boring for food. Now children, why do you feel, or do you feel that Saint Peter, when he cursed the lady, was it justified? Yes, it was justified. We are the greatest form, we are the divine form, one of the greatest creation of God, human beings, the form of human being. How can our attitude be so inhuman towards our own form? So Saint Peter's action was or is totally justified, right? It's totally justified. And here comes the theme, greed is a grave sin. Now see children, this is what happens, no? We do not understand, we do not feel. Sometimes we do not try to empathize, have that sense of empathy. Our attitude becomes so greedy that we just think about ourselves. The same happened with the lady. She only thought about herself, and she forgot that whatever we have, we should try to share and care with others also. She did not have that attitude of sharing and caring. She was not at all kind and generous, though she was a form of human. So the theme is quite clear that greed is a grave sin, and we have already witnessed that the lady had become a woodpecker as she was cursed by Saint Peter. What message is the writer trying to preach is also clear, that we should be kind, generous in your attitude, right? At the same time, you should have empathy for human form, right? These things, you can say, these are some attributes, some good qualities with which a human is born. But with his greed, he just forgets about these attributes with which he is born. So the message of the poem is quite clear. So we should not be greedy. We should always try to share and care what we have, right? So this is the poem all about the legend of Northland. We see the theme is clear. The setting of the poem is of course Northland, right? Rhyme scheme is ABCB, and the writer is trying, the poetess is trying to preach a lesson to all of us, that being a human, we should not forget the attributes and qualities with which we were born, right? Thank you children. Read the poem. We shall discuss more, right, in our live class that will help you to explore and understand the poem more. But after going through this video, you should read the poem also, right? Till then, have a good day. Thank you.